The year is 1922. Germany shivers, not just from the winter's chill, but from a darkness seeping into the countryside. Near the town of Ingolstadt, a small farmstead named HinterKaifeck sits nestled in the rolling hills, a picture of rural tranquility. But this tranquility is a facade, a thin veil soon to be ripped away, for something evil has its eyes on HinterKaifeck, something lurking in the shadows, patiently waiting to claim its victims. 6 souls reside on the farm. Andreas Gruber, his wife Kazilia, their widowed daughter Victoria Gabriel, and her 2 young children, Kazilia and Joseph, along with the family maid, Maria Baumgartner. None suspect that their days are numbered, that soon their peaceful world will be shattered by an unspeakable act of violence. The story of HinterKaifeck is not one for the faint of heart. It is a tale of brutal murder, of a family extinguished, and a mystery that has haunted investigators for over a century. The details, meticulously documented yet still shrouded in enigma, paint a chilling picture of an unspeakable crime. The victims, found slain in the barn, their bodies bearing the marks of a savage attack, remain frozen in time, silent witnesses to a horror that continues to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. Weeks before the tragedy, strange occurrences plague HinterKaifeck. Footsteps in the attic unseen but heard. A set of house keys vanishes. A newspaper not purchased by the family appears on their doorstep. Andreas, the patriarch, confides in his neighbors, his voice tight with unease. He speaks of an intruder, someone watching their every move. His concerns, dismissed by some as an overactive imagination, are brushed aside. But Andreas knows, deep in his gut, that something is amiss. Then, the maid, Maria, quits abruptly, claiming the farm is haunted. A new maid, Maria Baumgartner, arrives just days before the murders. It is a fateful turn of events, one that places her directly in the path of the killer. The atmosphere at HinterKaifeck is thick with dread, the air heavy with unspoken fear. The family, once close-knit and jovial, now move about in strained silence, their faces etched with worry. Each creak of the floorboards, each rustle of leaves outside the windows sends a jolt of fear through their hearts. They are living on borrowed time, though they do not yet know it. Days turn into nights, the tension at HinterKaifeck growing with each passing hour. Then, silence. No smoke rises from the chimney. The cows, unmilked, bellow in distress. Days later, neighbors, their worry turning to alarm, approach the farm. The door to the house is unlocked. Inside, a scene of unimaginable horror awaits them. The bodies of Andreas, Kazilia, Victoria, and little Kazilia are found brutally murdered in the barn, their bodies concealed in the hay. Upstairs in their beds lie the bodies of young Joseph and the new maid, Maria. All 6 victims met their end at the hands of a killer who remains unidentified to this day. The news of the HinterKaifeck murders spreads through the countryside like wildfire, leaving a trail of shock and terror in its wake. The brutality of the crime, the senselessness of it all, shakes the community to its core. People huddle around fireplaces, whispering in hushed tones, their faces pale with fear. Who could have committed such a heinous act, and why? These questions hang in the air, unanswered, adding to the sense of unease that has settled over the region. Investigators descend upon HinterKaifeck, their faces grim, their eyes scanning every inch of the farm. They meticulously document the scene, searching for clues, for any shred of evidence that might lead them to the killer. But the killer was thorough, leaving behind no fingerprints, no weapon, no apparent motive. The murder weapon, believed to be a pickaxe belonging to the farm, is found in the barn, wiped clean. The killer, it seems, was familiar with the layout of the farm, someone who knew where to find the tools of their gruesome trade. The investigation drags on, each passing day dimming the hope of finding the culprit. Theories abound, whispered in hushed tones and debated in local taverns. Was it a robbery gone wrong, a crime of passion? Or was there something more sinister at play, something that defied rational explanation? Despite numerous suspects and countless hours of investigation, the case remains cold, the identity of the HinterKaifeck killer lost to the annals of time. Suspicion initially falls on Karl Gabriel, Victoria's estranged husband, presumed dead in World War I. However, rumors swirl that Karl had in fact survived the war and returned home, only to discover Victoria's relationship with her own father, Andreas. The illegitimate child, young Joseph, was said to be the product of this illicit affair, a source of shame and scandal in the small community. Could Karl, driven by jealousy and rage, have returned to HinterKaifeck to exact his revenge? The investigation into Carl Gabriel proves inconclusive. Records of his death are lost in the chaos of war, and no concrete evidence emerges to place him at the scene of the crime. The possibility of his survival, his potential motive lingers, adding another layer of complexity to an already perplexing case. The shadow of Carl Gabriel, the vengeful husband returned from the dead, continues to loom over the HinterKaifeck murders, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lie hidden within the human heart. Other suspects emerge: a disgruntled farmhand, a jealous neighbor, a wandering drifter seeking shelter from the cold. Each has their own secrets, their own reasons to want the Gruber family dead. But none can be definitively linked to the crime. The investigation, mired in dead ends and conflicting accounts, seems no closer to uncovering the truth. One particularly chilling detail adds to the mystery. The killer remained at the farm for several days after the murders. They fed the cattle, ate the family's food, even slept in their beds. This bizarre behavior suggests a level of comfort, of familiarity, that is both unsettling and inexplicable. Was the killer seeking to cover their tracks, to make the crime appear random and motiveless? Or was there something more sinister at play, a perverse desire to prolong the agony, to savor the fruits of their horrific act? Some whisper of madness, of a deranged mind driven to unspeakable acts. The brutality of the murders, the meticulous planning, suggests a chilling detachment, a lack of empathy that speaks to a profound disturbance. Could the killer have been a local, someone known to the family, hiding their true nature behind a veneer of normalcy? The possibility that the killer walked among the villagers, their secret buried deep, sends shivers down the spines of the most hardened investigators. The thought that such darkness could exist in their midst, hidden in plain sight, is a terrifying prospect, one that casts a pall over the community long after the initial shock of the murders has faded. The HinterKaifeck case becomes a cautionary tale, a reminder that evil can wear many faces and that sometimes the most monstrous acts are committed by those we least suspect. Decades pass. The world moves on, but HinterKaifeck remains frozen in time, a macabre monument to a crime unsolved. The farmhouse, abandoned and left to decay, becomes a pilgrimage site for those drawn to the macabre, its crumbling walls whispering tales of horror to those who dare to listen. Countless books, documentaries, and podcasts delve into the case, examining the evidence, scrutinizing the suspects, and offering their own theories. Amateur sleuths pore over old documents, seeking new clues in the hope of finally bringing the killer to justice. But the passage of time has only deepened the mystery, rendering the truth even more elusive. The HinterKaifeck murders remain an unsolved puzzle, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows and the secrets that can remain hidden for generations. Who were the intruders Andreas saw? What secrets died with the family in that blood-soaked barn? Was this a crime of passion, revenge, or something far more sinister? The questions linger unanswered, echoing through the years. The HinterKaifeck murders stand as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. The truth, buried beneath layers of speculation and conjecture, continues to elude us. We are left to grapple with the unsettling possibility that some acts are so dark, so depraved that they defy explanation, their motives lost to the twisted psyches of those who committed them. The HinterKaifeck murders, a century old and counting, continue to fascinate and horrify in equal measure. The case serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic communities, and the fragility of life in a world where evil often operates unseen and unchecked. The victims, forever frozen in time, serve as a silent testament to the brutal reality that some crimes, despite our best efforts, may never be fully understood. And so, the mystery of HinterKaifeck endures. A chilling tale whispered from generation to generation, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can descend upon us all. The case remains open, a cold case never closed, its secrets waiting to be unlocked. Perhaps one day the truth will emerge from the shadows, shedding light on the events of that fateful night. Until then, the mystery of HinterKaifeck will continue to haunt our collective imagination, a chilling reminder of the enduring power of the unknown.